Hi everyone, this is Lauren Dalvia. I'm an astrologer and spiritual teacher here at Bene Mudra, and this is an astro update for January 31st through February 7th. The first thing that I'll say to everybody is, as of yesterday, as of the 30th of January, we are now in a Mercury retrograde for the next 3 weeks. So that is this one is actually in some ways gentler than usual. There's something about it's in Aquarius, and there's going to be many planets in Aquarius this month. But the usual goes. It's a really good time to purge. It's a really good time to do anything renew, re-up, reconnect. If you have the inkling to reach out to someone from the past, like it's a good time to do that. And it is a really good time to get rid of that which doesn't serve anymore. Like we're ready to let go of certain items, papers, clothes, ways of being, in our homes. It's a really good time to do that as well. And then the usual slowdowns, like if possible, it's not great to start something brand new. It's great to revisit something already begun. It's great to, find things that we thought we'd lost, things like that. But I always say, like, if one must, one must. And certainly, it's advisable to avoid signing contracts and things like that during this time. But if those contracts and those new purchases, especially electronics, cars, computers, phones, etc., must be made during this time, it is advisable to just super duper cross your T's and dot your I's. I mean, just like read the fine print, be really careful. Mercury is a trickster. Like that's his, that's his shtick. So, so just to be really careful, make sure that a text that you're trying to send to your boyfriend doesn't go to your boss and things like that. Like Mercury retrograde kind of asks us to slow down. And so if we remember to stay slow and, get quiet before we react or act or respond, then then we do okay under these placements. And even soar, like Mercury retrograde has this kind of pop astrology allure that it's like a bad time because airplanes are always late and traffic is bad, and you send a text to your boss that you mean to send to your boyfriend, but it's like it's actually a really good time. It helps us reorganize things and it gives us back things that we thought we lost, and it's just a calibration. Like that's what these retrogrades are all about. And so it is a recalibration in the arena of communication and movement. So it is jarring, but it's one of those things that if you know what it is, like, and you can kind of surrender to it, then it doesn't hurt as badly, and moreover it can be really utilized to one's advantage. It's just like the main message with Mercury retrograde in terms of like caveat emptor is like expect delays. It's like, it's certainly if you're used to doing things quickly, just kind of allow for that. And I say that as a reminder to myself, as to any, as much as to anyone else. It's just really good to kind of like even put a reminder in your phone, like just remember it's Mercury retrograde. So just, I'm going to do a couple things this week. It's kind of it's an interesting week. I love asking a prayer. I love meditation. I love being super hydrated. I want that for everybody. It's a slowdown happening with the retrograde, and there are some hard and really bombastic placements happening this month. And so, I'm just going to go into a small detail about a couple of them and then do a little bit about each sign as usual. So February 1st is bringing this hard square, this kind of tense energy between the sun in Aquarius and Mars in Taurus. So we just watch for expressions of ego and personal freedom that will be stubborn. And just to know that like where Mars is involved, tempers may flare. So it's just to watch, like if you're looking to compromise on that day, it might not be an amazing day for that. Although the energy when focused, if carefully focused, can be really productive. So it's just an invitation to kind of know that and be really mindful. Also, February 1st sees Venus's Aquarius ingress. Venus is entering Aquarius. So that infuses relationship energy, financial and security energy, and self-esteem energy with new energy. Aquarius energy is super innovative. It's super visionary. It's super outside the box. So that's really fun. February 6th, Venus is meeting Saturn. This is presenting new rules about all the above issues. Venus will also square Uranus or Uranus. And so the rules will be shaken and disrupted. So this tension between what you can't have or what you must commit to versus the desire for individuality, this can be very uncomfortable. There's also this beautiful benefit that's offered. The wounded healer Chiron is involved at the end of the week, and that offers a benefit as new ways to approach insecurity or wounds. And there's just like innovative new ways to approach these things, and those are uncovered. So that's really cool. I'm going to go into each sign right now and just talk a little bit about what's going on. So Aries, the sun is in your social sector. That's in a square to Mars. This can trigger public tension, unrest, urge to defend your territory. So you could be motivated to fight for a social ideal. You could be in a struggle with others involving values, self-esteem, and money. Venus is in your social area, and what basically everything I just said, it also activates the contrast between public rules versus personal freedom. So if you're initially confronted with a social barrier or commitment, you might achieve a breakthrough and escape as you discover that personal freedom is sort of non-negotiable this week. Use caution with money and relationships risks, because you could put a dent in your security. So just watch for surprising events involving friendship, attractions, new attractions, ideas, and self-expression and social image. Venus is in a sextile. That's kind of like a warm, open angle with Chiron, the wounded healer, and that encourages open self-expression of what you want and who you are. So that's a good outlet for personal wounds and creative self-expression. This confronting of a wound should happen naturally and easily. Taurus, the sun is in your career area. That's square Mars in your sign. That suggests ambition to get ahead. It might be expressed unevenly. You could be motivated by discontent. You could be motivated by struggles with authority. Aim to just use the contentiousness or the tension. Aim to use it constructively rather than stubbornly. That's the bottom line. Venus is in your area of career, and that confronts you with increased responsibilities, professional relationship that will emphasize new rules, new authority about your professional image. This can indicate achievement, but what you want could be strictly delineated, and there's a square to Uranus in your sign that will stir up restlessness if you as you struggle to express yourself. Just watch out for impulsive attractions or random shifts with future goals. Just kind of note that. Note the difference between constructive versus destructive liberation. That's really the message for you. On a gentler note, you can use this energy to explore wounds in the background, vulnerability that you don't feel comfortable being public with. You can encounter sympathetic allies, like both within and without, with this energy. Gemini, the sun is in your area of opportunities in the square to Mars. That suggests tension or accident or tension involving travel, education, legal matters, or publishing. So you just want to watch those things. I don't say this of that's what's going to happen. It's just to just be mindful, traveling, be mindful in the areas of education, anything legal, anything publishing or broadcasting. Hidden or unacknowledged motivations or anger can amplify certain risks if you're not aware. That's really the point. Venus is in your area of opportunity, and this presents commitment or strict line, involving long distance romance, travel, education, legal matters, publishing, broadcasting, that same sector. So new desire and opportunity, it might be formally confirmed. It also can kind of hit a wall. So either way, the unexpected can kind of disrupt what you thought was settled. Take nothing for granted and be prepared for distractions or last minute developments that are electric or, kind of just, different, unsettling even. Freedom will be the theme. And if you carefully tap into this wild energy, you can address troublesome social wounds, any public embarrassment, anything professional. Disruption can present you with a fresh perspective that opens you up to something better. So a turn away from what you thought you wanted can actually put you on a better path. So Cancer, the sun is in your sector of shared resources, okay? And that is in the square to Mars, which suggests that public arguments or socially motivated actions can hit you on a private level. External tension can involve secrets or behind the scenes issues involving shared finance, intimacy, or psychological matters. Like before you act publicly, just make sure you're not under the control of somebody else's agenda, or that you're like, to just be clear about that. Venus is in your area of shared resources as well. And this delivers firm boundaries, responsibilities involving debts, taxes, or your partner's finances, or intimacy, or matters of psychology. Deep fear, desire, or a block can be defined and then challenged by emerging disruptions from others, or your changing social image. So an urge to free yourself from groups or associations can, if done impulsively, upset things at a deeper level. But this also can be a breakthrough if it's not done impulsively and it's done mindfully, as you need, like, it's a breakthrough that you need in order to be freed to address vulnerabilities around success and ambition. So perhaps this is a case of the real secret you emerging, despite any concern about the outside world. But make sure you're just not damaging a relationship or your financial security, and also watch for impulsive spending this week. Leo, the sun is in your relationship area, that square Mars. That suggests tension with a competitor or a partner. So ambitions or professional actions, it might trigger resistance from them. Ego issues can be involved, so just be mindful of that. On the plus side, this can really motivate you to accomplish more. Venus is also in your relationship area, and this highlights partnership commitments, boundaries, or limits. So they can make it clear that this is as far as they'll go, or that this is what they must have, like that kind of stuff. It can also be frustrating, if someone else is trying to call the shots. And there also can be sudden disruptions under this if you kind of refuse to comply. But tension can change and crystallization can upset matters in your professional life. To just know with this kind of placement, there's a lot of room for compromise if you acknowledge that any emerging developments support increased acceptance of your fears and your perceived vulnerabilities. This is actually asking you to look inside and really kind of determine what's the ego and what's your spirit, what's your higher self this week, Leo. Just try not to get caught in battles of control versus knee-jerk rebellion. It's a really beautiful time to actually discern that ego and higher self. So that's really the message I want to output. Virgo, the sun is in your area of routine, that square Mars. This is suggesting tension between long distance goals versus immediate concern. So actions regarding travel, broadcasting, publishing, education, legal matters, they don't blend well with work and health this week, or personal obligations to others. You might feel caught between a desire for freedom versus doing what you have to do, with impatience and resentment knocking. So it's don't allow frustration to make you careless. Just be clear. If the resentment and frustration comes up, write it down, release it, look at what your part is and just kind of let it move through. Venus is in your area of routine as well. And that presents responsibility, likely involving self-care or care of another, that cannot be ignored. And so what you want may come second, but it's a really great time to kind of put if what is being asked of you is self-care, please put that first. It's integral. This might kind of influence or unexpectedly disrupt a new routine this week. While some change is inevitable, just pay attention to deeper currents of vulnerability that can be soothed via healthy routines and self-care or attention to obligations. A shock can kind of push you through the point of denial regarding what really hurts and get to what really matters. Like, it's a good time to really pay attention to self-care and to our obligations to others. And I always say, especially with anything Virgo or sixth house, which is where the Virgo naturally lives, you have to drink water, you have to get your rest, you have to put your life vest on first, even if you have, especially if you have deep, duty, towards other people, with other people in your life, whether it's family, or just other obligations. Libra, the sun is in your area of self-expression. That is squaring Mars. This can trigger surprising displays. You might be motivated on a subconscious level to pursue or to act out or take a risk. Before you act, just consider what you're really hoping to accomplish. It's just mindfulness, again, with the Mercury retrograde especially. Venus is in your area of self-expression. This highlights a limit or area of extra work around what you want. New attraction could have some barriers, or you may take it more seriously than anticipated. Creative work could demand extra focus. Underlying surges of impatience or rebellion can up your creativity and risk, and there could be a desire to discard everything and start fresh. While this will be exciting, you may also receive something very different than what you anticipated. So there's also a lot of room this week for partnership wounds to be addressed based on your newfound freedoms. No judgments, no limits. It's a really good week for Libra. I just want you to be mindful and be mindful of the retrograde. Scorpio, the sun is in your domestic area. That's squaring Mars. This can stir up conflicts with a partner, so just be mindful. Their actions can challenge you at home or activate a family issue in a way that leaves you feeling on edge. So again, just be mindful that this might be in play and just take extra care of yourself. Venus is also in your domestic sector, and this can highlight family responsibility or commitment. Rules or limits around domestic relationships, relocating, stuff like that can be highlighted. It's the first of the month, I don't know. But a partner can unexpectedly rebel against this. So just know, there might be some discord this week, and just to kind of be extra mindful, just to take care of yourself. Attempts to establish secure authority can be met with disruption like that. So a challenge to be you just want to approach it in a balanced way. Your boundaries are important, irregardless of what anyone else's, desires are and, energy is this week. This energy can be used to approach a troublesome health issue as well, if that's going on, or an area where you feel taken advantage of as tension opens up new ways of relating. There's just a lot of space for new awareness and healing this week for Scorpio. Sagittarius, the sun is in your communication area. That is square Mars. This can trigger arguments, or it can reveal tense information. So this can be actions with regard to health, daily routine, or obligations to others. This might be the cause, and you may be pushed to make more abrupt decisions. Actions might be out of sync with ideas or words. So you just want to keep this in mind before you react, and just the idea of responding rather than reacting. Venus is in your communication area as well. And that is, might define exactly what you can and cannot have, more officially right now. This can be via written or verbal commitment. With regard to rules, expressions of love and affection can be constrained under this. So just watch, there's room for movement. You just want to watch for sudden challenge to this as the unexpected in daily routines or your own desire for freedom kind of blast away what may have been formalized already. There could be an unexpected message, an exciting message, or you might communicate what you want in a new way. You will receive the unexpected as a result. And while this can be jarring, you'll find some relief as an insecurity is sort of openly addressed. There's a nice room for shift this week for Sagittarius. It's just remember to be in response, not in reaction, and really take care. Capricorn. The sun is in your area of shared resources. That's in that square to Mars. That suggests financial volatility and uneven efforts to kind of express oneself or pursue what you want. So just exaggerated confidence and competitiveness. Actually, both of those things can help this week and further where you're going. Venus is also in your sector of personal resources. And that will outline a need for financial discipline or like a firmer boundary. In some cases, there could be a new or official source of income that will require work. Watch for the temptation to push past these limits as a risk or indulgence, whether it's creative or romantic that tempts you. There are rules for a reason, is sort of the message. However, you can use this energy to address issues at home or family wounds by kind of subverting the usual traditions. So it's a cool kind of message for Capricorn. Aquarius, the sun is in your sign. That is square to Mars. That can suggest discord due to domestic issues or attempts to move on from the past. Nonetheless, this tension can actually motivate you to move forward and assert your will. Like, it's a big moment for Aquarius. There's a lot of potentiality for shift this month and this week. Venus is also in your sign, and that aspect kind of defines relationship, self-esteem, or appearance issues. This could be a commitment, it could be a limit, it can require that you up your discipline, up your game, decide what your boundaries are. However, changes at home and with family can kind of trigger impatience and a refusal to follow rules. So in some cases, your authority might be challenged. Although there's room for apology or at least like really comfortable expression of fear and vulnerability. So a lot of room for shift this week, Aquarius. And finally, Pisces. The sun is in your hidden sector in a square to Mars. That can trigger arguments or uneven verbal assertiveness. Background issues will leak out and stir up tense information or surges of temper. Venus is in your hidden area, and aspects connected to that can confront you with unacknowledged limit or a reality check around what you want. So there may be a last ditch effort to subvert this or avoiding an ending, but certain lines, you just need to acknowledge them. And so you just want to watch for an opportunity to address financial or self-esteem vulnerabilities based on your willingness to let go of what you can't control. Like, no longer managing and controlling is a huge theme here for everybody, but I'm specifically for Pisces right now, but really for everybody right now. I wish everybody a beautiful week. It kind of sounds like a heavy week, but there's a lot of opportunity for shift. When we're in a retrograde, I said it before, the point is to stop and just kind of get clear about what's really going on. If you don't know the answer, it means you don't know it yet. If you're in discomfort, please sit in it long enough to know what the feeling really means rather than be in reaction. Thank you guys so much. As usual, I am available at benemudra.com for private spiritual teaching sessions, soul astrology, natal birth chart readings. My name is Lauren Dalvia, and I can be found on Instagram at Lauren_Dalvia, DALVIA. And my business account is at 1111 Guided, and you spell the words 11 out. And I thank you so much and wish you a beautiful week. Cheers.